start streaming now. Oops. Go to your channel. All right, guys, just getting everything set up here. Just give me one moment. Hopefully, you guys had a good trading day out there. Go change documents. Let's go right here. Right there. Open, and then we're gonna go to day 394. Then we're gonna go 170K today. 7/16 on a Friday. All right. Post this all over social media, so that we get everybody in here. Steve Austin, there you are. First one on. What's going on, Caluga? What's going on? All right. All right. I am live going over today's trading day up 170K to close the week. All right. There's that. There's that. What's going on, guys? Hopefully you guys had a great trading day. All right, guys, just give me one sec. Just setting everything up here, guys. Hope you guys had a good trading day out there. Alright, there's that. Okay, I'm going to go to trading floor. There's that. I'm going to go out here. So yeah, I mean, definitely opportunistic day today. Things are definitely a lot slower, but there's still opportunities left and right, no doubt about it. AMC, we had ALF, we had SGOC, we had NEGG. Alright, cool. We even had RCAT, so let's throw that in there. RCAT. Okay. Alright. Cool. That's posted. Just getting everything set up here, guys. All right, guys. So to go over today's trading day, like I said, today was an opportunistic day. Didn't take a ton of trades. Purposely woke up a little bit later today. What's going on Instagram? What's going on Sugar? What's going on Fark? What's going on Ricardo? What's going on VIP? What's going on, everyone? Alright, what's going on Bacon? What's going on Ariel? Fill the pot, exactly. Good to see you on Ariel. What's going on Chris? I like the live trading on the videos. I know I'm not crazy, I go through the same emotions. Yeah, a lot of the students that I go through, guys, on the course, they like the live trading part the best. Is that what you're talking about, Chris? Yeah, they seem to like that part the best, which is why I try and upload more videos, but lately I've been slacking on that. I need to get back to that. Did I post everything here quickly? Let me just double check, make sure everything's posted here. Alright, there's that. Okay, let me make sure it's posted. Yeah, I think that posted. Okay, cool. Anyways, guys. So yeah. Today's trading day. So MRN, I really thought, today was bounce day. The only thing I missed out on for sure is NEGG. But after BTX, I wasn't going to touch this thing. Once I saw this pop and drop and break the lows, I'm like, this literally looks like BTX. And that's what it is, So, I saw this up and I'm like, honestly, I probably would have lost money on this because I had no confidence. Probably would have chased it up. Jeez, you're down 150K. That's terrible. I'm sorry to see that. But yeah. So, we lost on MRIN and NEGG. That's the way it goes. Of course, there was awesome liquidity. I mean, I could have loaded the boat down in here on some dips. 12K and then, 60K shares. I mean, that's a lot. And then, you could easily have scaled with a nice percentage gain with a solid amount of liquidity there. But that's the way it goes. MRIN, I thought today was bounce day. I was wrong. Then comes out of the gates and just dumps all day. Still no bounce on this one. RCAT, I played this one nicely. RCAT, 42,567. So I had tried to long it earlier in the day up here, and then this thing washed out, and then we perked back up, and then once we came back up again, there was a candle. So we washed, and then we perked right back up over these highs, right into testing these highs. So I said, once we perked up, came back down, I'm like, okay, it's either over or it perks up. And if it retests this high, I'm going to long it. That's exactly what I did. I longed it, and I nailed it. I scaled over sixes for a nice quick $60,000 winner. And then if you look at this thing, I basically started to build a little bit of a flag in here, right? But I said on a Friday, and the market's getting a little slower and a little slower at a time, that I wasn't going to, test it, and of course it rips without me. This is my favorite watch, but that's the way it goes. So, and then lastly, guys, my biggest play of the day, my number one play of the day was ALF. So here's my reasoning. One, like I said, guys, I love playing former parabolic bounce plays. It's one of my strategies. I've been saying this all week, and I've been waiting on it all week. I've been saying NEGG, CARV, SGOC, ALF, MRIN, okay, so on and so forth. These huge runners and rippers, they generally always have a solid bounce with a lot of liquidity and a big percentage return. And I want to be there to take advantage of that. And so ALF, out of all the runners we've seen as of late, has probably been my most favorite news out of all the runners. This, to me, has potential long-term growth to it out of all those other ones. The other ones I got they just ran. This was the first runner. It was either this one or MRIN that caused the rest of the market. But ALF was actually one that I really, really like the news on. And so, at the end of the day, I saw it kind of trickle up, and I looked at it. And so when I was watching this one wash out, realistically, I would have been, I just got done working out. What's going on, Hunter? I literally just got done working out because I'm gonna be going on a. My brother's in town, so I'm gonna be visiting them and my family today. So that's gonna be fun. So I try to get that done early. So you guys are blessed with my nice sweaty hair and all that, all that good stuff. So, but anyways, guys. I was watching this one out of the gates, washing out, right? Washing out. And anything under 8, I was like, in my mind, I was like, if it's under 8, I am jamming the buy button. I really didn't think we were going to get there, but we actually did. Now, I wanted to, because I went to bed later last night, and I wanted to kind of let the morning kind of pan out, because generally I make my biggest mistakes within the first 30 minutes to 45 minutes. I look through all my stats, and that's what happens. So I started seeing it right here at 8:20, and I literally got up, and I'm like, here we go. This one's a textbook. My favorite watch of the day was ALF, because I like the news on the company, because I know these former parabolic runners, when they wash out strong, they can have a strong comeback with a lot of liquidity and a big percentage return on the upside, right? So I started longing a little bit later. I started longing right in here and right in here, and I ended up with an 873 average. Now, that average is a little skewed. I ended up with an 847 average, but I kept re-adding the dips and selling off some pops and re-adding the dips, pops and re-adding the dips, right? And when I do that, it kind of skews my average here. So it's really like an 847, 850 average. But yeah, so I just kind of was scaling in and out of the core position that I had, and ended up, banking on it, 185 grand on the one name. I played it perfectly, guys. I literally played this textbook. I started buying this for a nice red-green move once we started to hold VWAP. Then we had a nice volume perk right there. And that's where I took off most of my position. So I took off I think 30,000 shares up here, and then another like 80,000 shares above 10. And then I started to kind of read long. I had 27,000 shares left, and I started to kind of read along 3,000 shares at a time once I saw this perk right here. And I added a little bit more once I saw this volume right there and this trickle here. And then once we got above the new highs, I scaled out pretty much the rest. Took a little tiny position down in here and took out the rest right on the backside a little bit there. And that was it. I was done with it because we had made 1 high, 2 high, 3 highs, 4 highs, and a 5th high, right? So with that being said, that is what it is. So, and then of course it's done for the day. And I nailed that name. And then I played RCAT, like I said, but here's where I made my mistake. I tried to play MRIN, and I really thought that was going to move, and it didn't. And then I lost 15 grand on that one. And then ALF, I tried to catch a move, and that didn't either. So in the end, I gave RCAT's profits back. But overall today, guys, ALF was my big win of the day. Feels good to kind of have finally a backside parabolic bounce play, guys. I've been waiting for this, and I finally got it. So, you could have gotten washed out on many times, and it was tough to read. But Alpha was my number 1 watch, and it ended up paying off today. Nice washout, a nice reperk red-green. Watching this one into next week as well as the rest of the former parabolics on the backside. We're up to a $1.5 million account, guys. I want you guys to know something, all right? I've taken my $1,000 in a 394 business days. I've taken it to over $18 million, okay? Business Insider, they did an article about me and how they fully verified and audited, my statements. Of course, I have to log in. Let's see if I can log in quickly here. Is this going to work? I don't know. We'll see. Oh, it actually did. Okay. And so, I had to go through about a month and a half of grueling, question after question, call after call. Had to call TD and deal with their compliance. Had to call E-Trade and try and deal with their compliance because the article wanted answers on why I got kicked off the brokerage, and they gave us nothing. And so basically they looked through, they had an audit. I think there was like 3 or 4 auditors. I could be wrong. I talked to one of them over Zoom, but this was just the most grueling process I've probably ever gone through because they go through every single trade and they go through, all the little, why is this a reverse split? And did you bring money in here? And I'm just like, I just trade stocks. I don't know. I can't answer like every single question while I'm trying to manage, questions that you guys give me every day and all the social media comments. And then I'm trying to do streams and I'm trying to trade and I'm trying to manage my other businesses and so on and so forth, right? So I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just taking so long. It was a month and a half. And finally, in reporting, they're very literal. So they went through all my statements using 1099Bs and they verified the first 5 million. When I get to 30 million, they're going to verify the next 25 million. But that's my 1K to 30 million. But anyways, so on and so forth. What I want to say, guys, is I've taken this $1,000 and turned it into a lot of money, right? Now well over 18 million. And even on this account, guys, it was about probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, I flashed red on this account. I am not kidding you, I saw negative $10,000 equity when I was in a live position short. I'll never forget that. First time that's ever happened to me. Well, except for when I probably first started, but it was like negative $100, and I was like, $100? Oh my gosh, but $100 is still a lot of money. I'm never going to lose relativity. I'm not going to say relativity because that's not a word. It might be, but I don't care. I don't get paid for English. I get paid to trade. So people are like, how do you not know English that well? I'm like, because I focus so much on my craft. I don't have time to focus on that. It's not one of my goals in my life, at least for right now. I'm trying to read more, but anyways. And so I saw a negative $10,000 on this account 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I'm in this short, and they're about to close me out because I owe the broker money now, right? And so, at the end of the day, I saw that, and I'm like, and I was just like, no. And I'm just being straightforward, But I was like 99.1, that was dead top. And they almost, I got stopped out like, I don't know, 20,000 shares out of my like 200,000 shares or something. And they almost stopped me all the way out because that's what they have to do. They have bots that stop them out when you owe the broker money. And I'm like, no, please. And finally it flips green, and then I cover my short with about $250,000 in equity. I hold that position all day. My equity is back up to 1.1 million. That's the crazy thing. But that's the emotional side of trading. Okay? And so, that's just the reality. The reality was, if I hold that until the end of that day, 3-4 weeks ago, my account's at 1.1 million. Roughly, or $1 million. But I just gone from red to now being up green, and I'm thinking I'm very fortunate. I don't want to having to go through that again and then having to fund the account. You know what I mean? So I took that $240,000 or $250,000, and ever since then I've been slowly growing it, right? And now we're back up to 1.5 million. Okay, so just because you have hard times in trading, just because you go through downs in trading, just because you might have blown a couple accounts, I'm going to tell you, when I first started trading, like I said, I blew about half my net worth, maybe a little bit more. I blew up a lot of accounts. You're not alone. I was right there with you guys. Some of you guys have been blowing up. Some of you guys have been trading bad. 90% of traders fail, so that's the reality. Okay? But I've been in your guys' shoes. I'm not going to sit here and say I haven't, because I have. I've been through that. I've been through the emotional side, the basically down on myself, like what am I going to do with my life kind of thoughts. The very deep and dark, like what is going on? How I can't be a failure. I don't want to rely on anyone in my life. I want to rely on myself and only myself. And I want to create a good life for myself. And I didn't back down. I gave it one more chance. And that one more $1,000 account challenge, then I turned it into $1 million, and the rest was history. So, my back was against the wall, and I felt like, when my back was against the wall, I can tell you one thing that I did for sure, no question, I remember this specifically. The one thing that I changed out of everything, when my back was against the wall, I started with my last 1,000, I sat there and I was like, this is it. And what this is it did when my back was against the wall, what that did, that concept, was my entries were on point. If I even kind of went red, I cut it out. Then I would try and take another trade. And if I went red on the trade, I was out. I was trying to pinpoint my entries so damn perfectly to where basically I'm green instantly. I remember that. And so if you take home one thing today, if your back's against the wall, if you're having a tough time trading, maybe take home with yourself, try and pinpoint entries. And it worked for me. It might not work for you, but it worked for me. And so maybe that helps for you. Just that thought of, okay, well, if I'm long here, right here on ALF, I stop out here. If I'm long here on ALF, I stop out here, right? You get what I'm saying. But if I'm long here on ALF, I got nothing but payday. I don't have any to worry about red. It's all green from there on out. That's a perfect world. And that's the way I generally traded when my back was against the wall. It was like sliver after sliver, but it would perfect my entries. And honestly, what it did was it made me buy dips. And I preach on dips because that's the way I trade. That's the way I've always traded when I trade successfully. I don't like to chase stocks. Now, I will chase stocks because I'm a little bit more experienced. But what that perfect entry did, what that concept did is it made me buy dips. And so if you take something home with you today, maybe try that. It might work, it might not. I'm not the same as, the 100 plus people watching right now live or the other 1,000 that are going to see this tonight. But the reality is, if that one thing you can take home with and maybe try it and see if it works, see if it doesn't, hey, it worked for me. But like I said, it might not work for you. Everyone's so different in trading. I've learned that over the years. I might tell someone one thing and they see it completely differently, but it doesn't mean they're not successful as a trader. So, but yeah, guys, I just don't want you guys to lose hope. I don't want you guys to lose motivation. You have to trade smart. Trade with what you can lose, Don't trade with money you can't afford to lose, because guess what? You're going to be so emotional. You're going to be so making the wrong decisions, and you're going to be like this. I don't know if you can hear my mouse, but just so fidgety, right? And so, at the end of the day, we're all trying to make a living. We're all trying to be successful out there. And the reality is, I'm just here to inspire and to motivate you guys to show what's possible. Sure, I might have 2.5 months of losses and lose 1.5 million on BTX overall on the name, but the reality is, I'm still I mean, I'm having the best year of my career, and I want to keep doing that every year. I want to keep compounding the best year of my career. You know, last year I did $7 million. This year, and just the challenge account, not the other accounts, I'm not going to include those. I'm up, I believe, about $12 million, 12.2 or something like that, just in this challenge account on the year. And I'm trying to get to 30 to 40. To be honest, you know, it'd be nice to get to 100 million by the end of the year is my true goal, but that's a lot to ask. But I always set my bar higher. You know, I remember I was sitting there with some of my girlfriend's family, and one day when I was like 23 or 24, and I was sitting on the beach, and they asked, you know, we were going through like, what's your guys' goals or something like that. And my goal was to be a millionaire before I was 30. And literally it was like, a year later, and I was a multimillionaire, you know. And so just set your bars high, right? Set your bars high and keep on gaining the bar higher and higher. And don't give up on yourself, guys, all right? Just because people say you can't do something, work harder. Outwork people. In anything in this world, if you outwork someone, they can't say anything. You know, talk is cheap. Outwork someone. All this Conor McGregor and all this, you know, Dustin Poirier, talk is cheap. What happened? McGregor lost. Did he lose unfairly? It's a doctor stoppage. I don't know. But what I'm saying is talk is cheap. Knowledge is power. Just keep on making every day better yesterday, and the rest will take care of itself as long as you're being smart about every step in your life, guys. Anyways, all right. I'm not a financial advisor. Trade at your own risk. Have a plan, a process, a strategy. Free chat, link description below. My course, link description below. The last thing I'll leave you with, don't blame anyone for your mistakes in your life. Take ownership of your mistakes no matter what. All right? Cheers, team, and go Hawks.